Most of these webinars have been recorded, and we will be posting them on our website. So if for some reason you want to revisit the webinar, you may do so at your convenience. So today's webinar is on Customer Relation Management, CRM. So before I get started on that, I just want to explain the dashboard, which is your landing page or your home page when you come into the Vision system. So you're going to go ahead and log in and use your password. And then when you enter into your Vision system, you'll come to the dashboard. And let's go over a few things on the dashboard that you'll see that are very helpful in navigating through the Vision system. Up at the top, you'll see a gray toolbar, and this toolbar will appear on every page within Vision. So if you do get lost or turned around, you can come up to the navigation toolbar and click on this house, which is going to be the home button, and this will take you back to the dashboard. Now the way Vision is separated is we have products, because we have a product research section within Vision. Then we have projects. A project would be something that you're creating for the customer. So if they have an event and you're pulling together a quote or sales order, purchase order, or any type of invoicing, it's all going to be tied to that particular project for your customer. So the way I like to think of a project is that file folder, and when you open that folder, you'll have your quotes and sales orders, purchase orders, and invoices, as well as any artwork or notes that you want to keep with that particular project. So in Vision, you can assign a project with a title. It'll give it a unique project number, and you can reference that project and see what the activity that you've worked on. Then if you come over to contacts, this is where we're going to spend most of our time today on the webinar. In contacts, you can see that you can add customers into your Vision system. You can add suppliers. When you come down to new contact, this is again where we're going to spend some time, but this is where you would fill out all that information for a new customer or new supplier. You can also import customers, and we'll go through that as well today. If you come over here, you'll have a report function. So basically, the reporting that's in Vision is broken up the same way that we're going through this navigation toolbar. You can run reports on products, on projects, so you can see all the quotes and sales orders, purchase orders that are tied to a project, how many are outstanding, how many you need to follow up on, how many invoices have been paid, and so forth. You can also run reports on customers or your contacts, so you can see how many customers have purchased from you in the last month or 2 months. And you can also run marketing tags for special campaigns that you have going on, and you can target certain customers with those reports. There's also a website area within Vision, and this is where you can create your own company website, or you can create a company store or website for a customer. So that's a really nice marketing and sales tool. It only takes about a couple minutes to create that website, and then you can send it out to your customer with some products that you think that they might be interested in. Okay, so coming back to the windows of the dashboard, there are 6 windows on your dashboard. The first window right here is featured products, and this will show you exactly that, the featured products. And we have 3 categories for those 3 featured products. If it is marked with a sun in the top left corner, it's a new and noteworthy product. So it's something we think that you might be interested in, or it's a new product onto our system. If there's a red little tag, like a price tag, that's a special offer. So we like to highlight those that vendors or suppliers are having special offers on. And then if you see a little $sign up in the top left corner, that's a bestseller. So you can see those 3 categories are the featured products. And what you might notice is on some products, you'll see this little quality icon. Looks like a Q or a little eyeball spying out. And this is just to let you know that we have a partnership with the Quality Certification Alliance. and they take a look at the safety and the materials of the product and make sure that they meet quality standards. So when you see that icon, that means it's quality certified. So it has been approved and it does meet those safety and quality standards for that particular product. So then if you come over here to this window, you can search products by a keyword or product title. You can also search by reference or supplier reference. So you just type in your keyword there and you can hit search or you can hit more, and this will take you to the product research area where you can look and filter and search for products for your customer. So both the feature products and search products will get you to that product research area within your Vision system. Also, you'll see the window which is labeled projects. This is just going to list your last 5 projects that you've worked on within your Vision system. And anytime you see a blue numbering or lettering, that indicates that there's a link to it. So if you click on that, that will take you directly to that project labeled Company Picnics Cubs June 2012. And then you can see the activity going on with that project. I'm seeing the little box up here that says that there might be some audio issues. If you could do me a favor and just type in the questions area whether or not you're hearing and seeing the screen correctly, or if I'm going too fast, please let me know. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go on with the webinar. So, and close this out. Okay, there we go. So the next windows that you'll see towards the bottom of your dashboard are some performance and stats type windows. So right here on the left-hand side bottom, you'll see some of the company performance, how you're doing as far as quotes and sales orders and invoicing, and what your conversion rate is for last month, this month, and for the year. So you can take a look at that and start to target areas in which you want to maybe specific customers or follow up on some of those quotes. You also can see quick stats, and that gives you the number of quotes or number of sales orders that might be in process or pending and that require follow-up. So the first one is going to give you kind of how you're doing from a financial standpoint, and then the second on quick stats is going to indicate some of the things that you have outstanding that you might want to follow up on. The last window that I want to go on the dashboard is tasks. This is a task window. It's going to pull from your calendar feature within Vision. And many of you probably have worked with Outlook, but you have your own personal calendar within Vision. It operates very similar to Outlook. You can put entries on it, and those entries will appear under this or in this task window on your dashboard. So when you log in, you can see what you have scheduled for that day so that you don't forget or you don't miss a meeting, or you can actually, maybe you need to get some artwork from a customer before you can get an order placed. So those are things that you can put on your calendar and it will pull through to your dashboard. I'm just going to show you that the calendar is up here at the top. You can, up here in the top right, you have some administrative. You have settings, which is an administrative section. But right up here, you have calendar. So if you click on your calendar, as I mentioned, it works a lot like Outlook, but you can just go ahead and add a new event to your calendar.
Yes.
And I can type the entry. If I want to tie it to a customer record, I can do so, but I'm just going to do a personal entry. I'm just going to allocate it. It's going to default to the person who's signed in with Envision. So because I'm signed in, it's allocating it and defaulting it to myself. So I'm looking at my own calendar. However, if I have multiple sales representatives within my company, I can go ahead and put something on their calendar for them to follow up on. So I would just use this drop down and select that individual, and it would pull up their calendar, and I could put an entry onto their calendar. So when they log into Vision, they would see that under tasks. I'm going to leave it as myself, and I can select from the drop-down. I have some predetermined or determined selection, so I can just say I'll do a meeting, and there's the date of the meeting, and I can change that date or time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I just want to make maybe a half an hour, the objective is to meet with customer to find out their needs for upcoming event. Okay, and I can go ahead and save that to my calendar. And there it is. It's on the 14th right here in my calendar. So if I head back to home, I now can see that right here in the task section. You can also get to that calendar by clicking more, and it would take you to the calendar as well. I do want to point out, as you're in Vision and in the order management area, we're not going over that today in this webinar, but when you're in order management and you're creating a quotation, you also have the ability to put a calendar entry on your calendar, as well as maybe a company representative that you have. You can put one on their calendar. So if you're in the build a quote or sales order screen, you also have a calendar button that you'll see there, and you can add a calendar entry at that time as well. So you can get to the calendar several different ways, but that's just how you would get to the calendar from the dashboard. So 2 ways from the dashboard: up here in the top right, or down here under task and hit more. So that gives you a little bit of an overview of the dashboard. And I'm going to go ahead and go into our CRM area within Vision. So I'll come up here to my navigation toolbar across the top and come into contacts. I'm going to be adding a new contact. So I'm going to come right here to new contact and select that. And it's going to give me all the information that I need to input for that contact. I have a couple choices here on customer type. If I want to mark that customer as a lead, I'm just going to go ahead and put them as an active customer within my database, and the business type is a company. So I'll just go ahead and enter the phone number. Oops. And the fax number. And sorry, it takes me a while to get all the... Now, the better quality that you put in when you're adding a contact, the better you're going to be as far as when you start doing reports on your customers. So you want to make sure that when you're entering that customer information, that you are entering as much information as you have. So you want to make sure it's complete information and complete data.
Not at the moment. That's actually coming in the near future. I have a counter shopping cart on the front end of the site.
And we'll select from the drop down. So you're going to go ahead and enter all the information for that customer. Now this is all the general information. So I'm going to hit save. And it's going to pull up all the detailed information for that customer. So I've done my initial entry for that customer as far as the name of the customer. It's assigned them a unique account number, so the Vision system will do that for you. And then it's got all the information that I've put in on that initial contact for that customer. But I have some additional information that I still need to fill out. And it depends on how large your customer is that you're entering. If you have a customer that is a national account, you might want to put that customer in from the national account perspective. And then when you get into contacts, you can enter the various contacts for maybe the regions. So you could go ahead and I'll show you how you can do that. But you can enter multiple contacts for a customer, as well as you can enter multiple addresses. So if you have a national customer and it's broken into maybe 4 regional accounts, maybe the West, the East, you can do that with the additional addresses, or depending upon if you want to run reports on the West, the East, Central, Mountain, whatever you're looking at for that customer, you might find that it's easier to enter those regions as separate customers, so that when you do run reports, you can run reports on the different regions of Starbucks per se. So I just want to make sure that I'm kind of clear on that. Okay, so I'm still up here in the general company information. The rep again will default to myself, but if I want to assign this customer to another representative within my company, I can do that from this drop down. And then again, that would appear as a customer in their Vision system. Source, I'll just keep it as existing client. These are optional, but again, from a marketing standpoint, you want to fill out as many as possible. So status, I'm just going to say it's a standard account. Competitor, I'm just going to leave blank. Company size, it's a medium or large company. And then the type of organization, you have a couple, you can say it's a multinational head office. And then again, as I was mentioning, if you have regional offices and you want to enter those customers separately, you would choose the multinational regional office if you were doing Starbucks West, Starbucks East. So that's an example. I'm going to just do the head office. At the industry, I'm just do retail. Or do they have food? Let's see if we have food. Hotels. No, let's just go ahead with retail. And then I'm just going to apply all the marketing tags, but you have some marketing tags that you can enter there. Now, when you come up here, you also have the option of attaching a logo to that customer record, which I suggest that you do. So whether or not you have that logo already in your files on your computer, or whether or not you go out and you go and get the logo from your customer or from Google, you can do any of those. What you're going to need to do to attach that logo is come into My Logos. I clear. This is going to pull up all the logos that are in my system that I've added. So I could simply, if I've already added them, I could go, sorry about that, I can go here and find them within my logos. But I do not see them here. So I'm going to come in here to the bottom left. It's called Open Logo Manager, and I'm going to go ahead and open that Logo Manager. And it's going to pull up my Logo Manager. And I'm going to upload up in the top right. Click on Upload a New Logo. And then this is going to work very similar to if you find and attach a document to an email or within any type of Word. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go Browse and find that logo. And I've already gone out to Google and saved a logo onto my desktop. So I'm going to go out and hit Browse and find that on my desktop.
Right, we would switch it over.
And here we have. Now, I do want to point out when we're talking about logos, it does need to be a JPEG or a GIF image for it to work correctly. So I just want to point that out. So if you're trying to upload a logo and you're having some problems, make sure that it is a JPEG or a GIF. If I double click, it now will add that logo, and I can go ahead and upload it. And it should upload that logo into my logo locker. And there it is. There's the Starbucks logo. Now, if I have a couple options, I could go ahead and just close out my logo manager, or I could look at the logo to make sure that sometimes when you get logos that there's some white background or it's not as clean as you would like. So I can click on that logo, and I have a few options. I can leave the white background. As you can see here, it's not going to look that pretty if I put that on a red shirt. I can remove the white from just the edges, or I can remove the white altogether. I'm going to leave it on removing it altogether because I think that will give me a cleaner image when I apply it to the different products within my system. I also have more options up here. So if I come up here to options, I can mess with the colors of that logo. Here we go. And I could sit here and pick, colors on the color wheel. I can make it black and white. I could leave it color. At this point, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to go ahead and just close that logo manager here. I'm going to go back into my logos now that I've uploaded it. I'm going to go in there, clear, and find my logo. There it is. I'm just going to double click on it. And now I've attached that logo to that company record. So when I send out any documents for that customer, such as a quote or a sales order, I now will have that logo appear on those documents with the customer's information. As I mentioned, you can add additional addresses for a customer. So if you are dealing with a customer from a national standpoint, but then maybe you have a regional office, or even just maybe you're dealing with someone from event planning and then you need a different address to send the invoice to. So right in here, you would come up here to alternate addresses. Oh, let's go down here, sorry. And then you can go ahead and put the name. Maybe it's Joe Payton. And then you could put the additional address.
So the name on the card is, I'm sorry, could you say that again?
And we can do Anaheim.
No, I'm sorry. No, the name on the card.
Okay, and I have a couple selections here as I mentioned earlier. So Joe Payton maybe is in charge of billing. So I'm going to go ahead and default this as the invoice address because this is where I want all the invoices to go. So I can check that and I can hit save, and then it will apply that additional address. If I have more, I would just again click on alternative address and come down here, and maybe I have a shipping address. So Tracy Worley. Trying to come up with street names here. And then I could default this as the shipping address and hit save. And as you can see, I have multiple addresses, and I could keep going and add, I believe, as many addresses as I would like. Then I also have additional contacts. So these would be employees within your company that you want to add. So I could add a new contact. And again, you'd want to fill out as much information as you can. And maybe he's the CFO and responsible for payments. And then it's going to default right here to the corporate information. But if I wanted to, I could assign a default shipping address. Right now, I'm just happy with this individual, so I'll just hit save. And so now I have Mr. Jonathan Hall. So I can add as many contacts as I would like. Then I also have some payment information to look at. So I can assign the type of currency, the terms that I want to put on when I do invoicing. So if I want to do a 30-day term, I can do that. And then there's a sales tax. When you're set up with your Vision, most of that is taken into consideration based on your address of your company. So that will automatically be in there for you. However, if you do have unique sales tax information you need to enter, you can go to the settings section, enter those different tax codes and different tax rules, and then you could see the various different sales tax options you have from your drop down. So if you have something unique, you can go into settings and do that. And again, settings are all the way up at the very top in the top right on any screen. You can go into that administrative area. So if your company has a registration number, this tax number, this is where you'd put it. If you're having some issues with the company, maybe they have several invoices but they haven't paid them, or their products aren't shipping in a timely manner, you can go into the customer and check cease trading or hold account on hold, so that you know that those are accounts that are maybe problematic and you need to get in touch with someone from the company. You can also add additional notes as well. So when you have all your information on your customer, you go ahead and click Save, and it will pull that customer information through to your customer database. And here's just a summary of what's going on with that customer. So you have all that information that you've inputted. So you can do the same for suppliers. So you would go into New Contact, and then right here you would just make sure you check Vendor, and then you can enter a supplier just the same way that we entered a customer today. Now, if I come up here to Contacts, I see that I have customers and I have suppliers. If I want to see an overview of the customers or suppliers in my database, I would click on those options. So I'm going to come up here to Customers, and it's going to show all the customers that I have in my database. Along the left-hand side, you're going to see the various customers in the database or in your Vision system. You would scroll through just using the page numbers here or next. And again, anything with blue is a link. So if I click on that, it will take me to that customer record. So if I go ahead and click on Cal State University of Fullerton, it's going to pull up the customer record for Cal State. And if I had a logo applied, it would show here. But what you see here, and what's really nice, and the way our CRM solution works, is you have all the company information, you have your contact information, payment methods, and then along on the right side, you can see some activity that's going on with that customer. So you can see that you have a couple quotes going, a sales order, or a few sales orders. And if I click on More, I'm going to see the entire activity for that customer. So I don't have any calendar events going on, but if I click on Projects, I can see all the projects that I've done for that particular customer. And this is helpful, so you can go back if you constantly are doing business with this customer and they're a repeat customer, you can go in and pull a quotation or a sales order, and maybe it's an event that they have every year. You can save yourself some time and copy that quote or sales order that they've used prior, and then go ahead and send it out to them. So you can immediately pull up all that history that's tied to your customer. And like I mentioned, you have a reporting features. You can run reports on any of these things that are shown here, such as projects, quotes, sales orders, and invoices. So you can pull anything tied to the customer within those categories on a report, and you can see how you're doing with that customer. So it's all in one place. It's quite a bit of information. And you can do that for suppliers as well. So if I want to close out this and maybe come back up here, see another, go back to the overview of customers. Now, what you'll see is whatever's highlighted. So if I come over here and I click on this customer, again, not clicking on the blue, I'm clicking on the customer in gray. If I click on this, it's not going to take me to the record just yet. It's going to pull some basic company details on the right. So you have a little bit of a snapshot going on for this particular customer without having to go completely out of the screen and see all the customer details. So you can see company details, and then if you click over here, you can see contact details. If I go back to company details, down here, just as I saw when I went into the customer record, I have some recent activity, not all of it, but just some of the last 5 things that have been going on with this particular customer. However, if I click on more, it will take me to that screen that we just saw, which is the complete customer record. And you can see on this customer, there's quite a bit of activity. There's 58 projects going on, 44 quotes, 36 sales orders, and 9 invoices. So there's quite a bit of activity, but you can see everything all in based on that customer. So if I go into the projects, I can see all the projects that I've done. And if I click on quotes, I can see the various quotations that have been done. And if I want to look at a specific quote, I would again select on the blue link, and I could pull up that quote and take a look at that. So if I want to go in there and maybe edit that quote, delete it or email it again, maybe the customer lost it, or I want to follow up, I can resend that quote. So everything is right here that we've spent our time with today. And the last thing before I conclude, I just want to show you how you would import customers into your Vision system. So you'd come up here to this navigation toolbar under Contacts and go to Import My Customers. What this is going to give you is some basic templates that we would like you to use to upload the customers. So what you'll have to do is click on one of these downloads and download it to your computer. And then you would transfer your customer data, whether it be on an Excel spreadsheet or some other format, into that template. And then when that template is complete, you'd come into this step, and you'd go in and select that file from your computer, just like we did with the logo. And once you select that file and upload it, I don't have a template on my system, you'd click on upload, and it would pull through all the information that was on the template into your contact area within Vision. So it's like a 3-step process. You would come in here, download your template. Second step would be filling out your template. And then third step would be uploading that template into your Vision, into your contact area within Vision. So I'm just going to go ahead. I know see if there's anyone with questions. I don't see any. So that's either good or bad. Again, as I mentioned, if you'd like, you can go ahead and email support@tradeonly.com. and they would be happy to answer any additional questions that you might have. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope that you can attend some more of our webinars. Okay, have a great day.